Hello everyone, tonight on the program, Ghana Mine Workers Union threatens industrial action if temporary employment of members persists.
With this canker now, the future will be a major worry for all of us. So labor law reform is important.
The Americans and the diasporans from South America or the Caribbean coming. Now we can increase the numbers with the European markets as well. And that is why President went to launch Destination Ghana, all to be able to meet our targets.
And we will tell you why fisher folk want a date change for the close season.
We would be glad if authorities close the sea in May and opens it in June for us. You still find trawlers on shore during the closure of the sea. How will they deal with the trawler operators? What information will be given to the trawler operators?
Thanks for joining us, everyone. My name is Daryl Kwawu. We've got details of those stories and others coming up tonight on Business Live. Don't go anywhere. Well, first up, the Ghana Mine Workers Union says it will resort to an industrial action if temporary employment of members persists. According to the union, the practice is causing declining incomes and job insecurities in the industry. Speaking to Joy Business at the union's May Day Fanfare, which sought to honor some industry players, the General Secretary, Abdul Mumingbana, said his outfit will stop at nothing to change the narrative to ensure permanent employment of members.
We are also aggressively considering looking at how we can cause or ensure labor law reform. And as you are aware, the Labour Act 651 is currently undergoing some review, albeit snail-paced. But what we are determined to do as Ghana Mine Workers Union and by extension organized labor of this country is to ensure that we quicken the pace and to ensure that we are able to bring about the needed reforms that would also guarantee to a very large extent employment protection in this country. One thing that you must remember is that the spate of, or the increasing spate of non-standard forms of employment is not only the preserve, or is not only akin or associated with the mining sector alone. It's actually a gradual feature that is becoming a part and parcel of our labor market in this country. And it's important that as organized labor, we marshal all the strength and all the forces that we need to be able to wrestle this matter, because it is about survival. If we don't deal with this canker now, the future will be a major worry for all of us. So labor law reform is important. But it's also important that collective action becomes an alternative. And like I said, organized labor, one of our key values is collective action, where we engage, where we use law and it doesn't appear to work out the way we expect it to. We must deploy the appropriate tools and strategies, which include collective action. And so whatever we can do to change this narrative and to ensure that the deterioration in terms and conditions of employment in the mining sector and by extension the entire economy is halted, we must do so as quickly as possible.
Meanwhile, Vice President and Managing Director of Golden Star Resources, Shadrach Aditesoa, who was honored at the Mine Workers May Day Fanfare, called for collaboration between employers in the mining sector and the unions to promote the welfare of workers.
Depends on the collaboration between the employer and then the union. I believe in the concept of a win-win situation, and then where you'll be able to clearly define the rights of the union and then the privileges of the union. Most people think that not, we do misconstrued privileges to be right. But again, you also always have to ensure that there's fairness in the distribution of whatever income that arises from the work. Okay? So you need to be fair to the workers, you need to motivate them, you need to recognize them, and then you need to make sure that they are safe. In whatever form that they come to work, they will return in that same form to their families. I'm not quite surprised with this honor that was bestowed onto me today. The point is, I've had a very long-lasting relationship with the union. At times, it becomes very difficult for you to know where exactly you stand, whether at the side of management or at the side of the union. But again, as I said, my principle is there should be a win-win situation when there is a deadlock. Okay, so you just need to collaborate and then find a middle term that the two of you can agree on. And that has been the relationship between myself and then the union.
The Ministry of Tourism is optimistic of meeting its revenue target with the launch of the Destination Ghana campaign. The campaign, which is a global drive to woo investors to Ghana through the country's tourist sites, was launched by President Kwawu in London. In an interview with Joy Business at the 5th Ghana Business Leaders Excellence Awards, Deputy Tourism Minister Mark Okwekumantis said the campaign seeks to widen the scope of potential investors.
Yeah, was better than 2019 because and last year it was erratic. Occasionally came across to us like as if COVID was gone, and then it comes up. But this year we can assure you that now that President Kwawu is saying that it is not mandatory to wear mask, I think it's not just Ghana. It's become flexible a bit. We can assure you that with Destination Ghana launched, we are expecting a bigger boom by end of year. This target, it means that we need to work extra hard. And that is why President Kwawu has launched Destination Ghana. The agenda is that we promoted Year of Return in the Caribbean and the USA. We did not do UK and then Euro and the peripherals. And so President Kwawu decided that, okay, let's go launch this fall, so that when we have the Americans and the diasporans from South America or the Caribbean coming, now we can increase the numbers with the European markets as well. And that is why President went to launch Destination Ghana, all to be able to meet our targets.
Now, fishermen at the Nungua Landing Beach here in Accra are pushing for a change in the season's end date. They say the current economic situation and growing cost of goods will have a significant impact on their lives. My colleague James Ishan visited the fishing community and comes through with this special feature.
The closure of the fishing season this year. We are here at the Nungua Landing Beach to speak to these fisher folk to know what's really the problem with the closure of the fishing season. The government nationwide restricted fishing season, which began in 2019, appears to have had a favorable influence on harvest. The goal is to rebuild the depleted fish stocks. Some anglers are dissatisfied with the date of the season's end. With only a few weeks until the start of this year's nationwide closed fishing season, some fishermen are requesting a date modification. Francis, who has worked in the fishing industry for over 40 years, explains that while the season is closed, foreign trawlers are allowed to fish. Foreign nationals, he claims, kill the fish with their fishing methods. He considers it as distressing and he believes it undermines the closure's purpose. We would be glad if authorities close the sea in May and opens it in June for us. You still find trawlers on shore during the closure of the sea. How will they deal with the trawler operators? What information will be given to the trawler operators? They kill all the fishes with their method of fishing before the sea is opened. This is very disturbing and it takes away the motive behind the closure. Authorities must close the sea to both local fisherfolk and the foreigners. Secondly, during the closure, life becomes very difficult. With the current economic situation wreaking havoc on all enterprises, Joyce, a long-time angler, says life has become miserable for them. She said that after the closure last year, many of the children in the community were involved in a variety of vices.
We are suffering. After the closure of the sea last year, many of the youth in the community resorted to stealing. Fishing is our source of livelihood. That is what we use to educate our children. I go fishing myself, and I have 3 children. All of them go fishing as well. The timelines for the closure this year will greatly affect us as compared to the previous years. So we are pleading with the authorities to reconsider their decision.
But he believes that changing the date will help them do more. He noted that the month for the closure in 2020 was fine for them, but that of last year and this year's July to August month will have a negative influence on their business and livelihoods due to the hardship. We are hungry. The situation is worrying. The May-August closure will not be favorable at all. Fishing is our only source of income. The timeline for last 2 years was okay. To be frank with you, we were happy. Many of these fishermen have entreated their leaders to speak with the ministries about their mounting fears with respect to the closure, but it appears that these efforts have been ineffective.
Looking around, this clearly tells you what these fisher folk go through on daily basis. I earlier engaged them and I was being told that last year's closure, that was within the months of July to August, was not the best. As fisher folk, they prefer the month of April and May. For Joy Business, James Ishen.
And you're watching Business Live. Still to come, renting a car by just clicking a button. The Joy Business Van tells a story of online car rental platform Whoop-A-Car.
Considering the experience that I was going through, it makes sense to actually have something similar to Uber, but it actually focuses on the rental market.
Well, full story coming up right after this break. Welcome back to Business Live. Now, with just a click of a button, you can rent a car and it will be delivered right at your doorstep. Thanks to the online car rental platform Whoop-A-Car, the Joy Business Van meets up with the founder, Yusuf Seidu, who aims to make the startup a global brand. Joy Business Van is brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and MTN. What are we doing today? The pandemic restrictions have eased and travel has started picking up. The demand for car rental services are also up. Just perfect for online car rental platform Whoop-A-Car to get right back into business. But the idea to operate this platform came way before the pandemic.
Somewhere in 2017, right, I was caught up with trying to help out a friend who was coming in from out of town, from the US. And he wanted a car to, pretty much like move around. And Uber was at the time very new. He wasn't so sure about how Uber actually operates in the country. So I said, okay, I'll try and figure out if I can find a good deal for him.
That's Yusuf Seidu, a pharmacist, now digital marketer. Well, his quest to help a friend proved rather tiresome. He surfed the net, but was rather led to global brands, which were quite expensive. He decided to go around from one rental company to the next for a good deal.
I went through that hustle of going around, asking for prices, comparing prices, trying to make up a decision and communicating that with him. It was a lot of back and forth. So while I was going through that experience, I just thought to myself that Uber is new in this country. And Uber operates as a taxi service, right? So we don't have anything that operates in the rental space like Uber. And considering the experience that I was going through, it makes sense to actually have something similar to Uber, but it actually focuses on the rental market.
That's how the idea for Whoop-A-Car came. Yusuf started by pitching his idea for an online platform to small car rental companies.
I wanted us to build it in a way where by the time we have a platform, we actually have some cars to like display. But we had a lot of challenges when we were pitching the idea. One, because when we thought about what our revenue stream was going to be, it was going to be on a commission basis. And most of these operators or providers, when we spoke to them, they didn't like the idea of we getting a percentage off of any booking that would actually come through us, because they wanted to control, their market as much as possible.
Yusuf was able to get over that hurdle after a compromise, and with 6 cars from 2 individuals, he started work on the platform.
The way it works is if you're a user or a client, or let's say you own a car and you're looking to earn some passive income, all you do is go to www.whooppercar.com. On the homepage, you have the option of actually seeing our popular cars right on the homepage. You can click to view all those cars on the homepage. And what we've done is we've added a filter that allows users to actually filter through cars in terms of the category, whether it's a saloon, it's a 4x4. They can also filter through in terms of the make, whether it's a Honda, a Toyota. And they can also filter in terms of pricing, which is something new that we've actually added, because it helps people to gauge based on their budgets, what car to actually go for. So once you actually do that filter, you see a list of cars populating.
Users can make a choice depending on the prices displayed on the platform and book a car.
So once the customer support person gets in touch with them, they get in touch with the car owner first to confirm, just to double check, and then they'll get in touch with the client to make sure that all the details we have is the right details of our client, where they are located, confirm the time they need a car, where they would want the car to be delivered to them. That's an extra added service that we offer. We deliver the cars directly to you at your location. Part of it is also to make sure that we know where you live.
Whoopper Car is also open to individual car owners who want to rent their vehicle, provided it is in good shape and insured. Whoopper Car has experienced steady growth in rentals since it started operating in 2018. The most challenging period for this business yet was during the height of the pandemic, when the lockdown was imposed.
We had our lowest sales, our lowest revenue within those 2 months. But surprisingly, after April, it started picking up. And I guess it was because a lot of people still wanted to move around or get around. In as much as people were working from home, or people were being limited by going out or commuting outside, we still had that opportunity. And one thing that worked well for us was our B2B customers. We had companies that wanted to hire our vans to transport their workers, so they have their workers moving safely in a very secured way, instead of taking trotro and not being sure of if the trotro is clean or is disinfected. So we had the opportunity to actually work with some of these companies and provide that service to them, and that's something that really helped us survive during that time.
Whoopper Car works with a small team of professionals who run operations in Accra. It has started a pilot at Takoradi, Ghana's oil city. So, what does the startup need to further scale up operations?
For me, from where I sit, it's brand awareness. We've come a long way. We've been doing everything all by ourselves. No external investments from anywhere. It's been through our sweats, our own sweat and hard work. So having the opportunity to put our brand out there more, giving more visibility to our brand, creating that awareness about who we are, our mission, what we aim to achieve, and what our vision is, I think that is something that would definitely help us scale up.
And how far does Whoopper Car want to go?
In the near term, we really want to be a national brand. in the mid-term, we want to be a national brand, we want to be all over the country. But in the long term, we really want to be out there on the global market, operating on the global market. That's the vision. That's how far we want to go with Whoop-A-Car.
And just in case you're wondering, Whoop-A-Car is a Akan translation for looking for a car. Now you know where to go. The Joy Business Van was brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and MTN. What are we doing today? All right, time now for a look at what's making news around the world. Here's our international tidbits. And next on Business Live, your money tip on Money Lab.
Hello there, welcome to the Money Lab. What is cryptocurrency? Now, a cryptocurrency is a digital currency that can be used to buy goods and services. Now, much of the interest in cryptocurrency, which is usually unregulated, is to trade for profit. That is, speculators or people who buy the currency to make profit seek to buy at a low price and sell when the price skyrockets for them to make some gain.
And that's our program tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. There's more news though on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. The day's latest headlines over there. Drop in debt to GDP ratio not guaranteed to borrow more. That's according to economist Professor Godfrey Bokping. And cedi depreciation slows but declines in value by 19% in 4 months of 2022. Those stories on myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time tomorrow.